Welcome to The Marketer's Exit, the podcast for marketers curious about freelancing, starting a side hustle, or exploring what life could look like beyond the 9-to-5. I'm Tas Bober. I left the in-house marketing world to build a landing page consultancy, and now I work 3 days a week while making the same and sometimes more than I did in my full-time job.
And I'm Tim Davidson. I stepped out of the agency grind to start my own LinkedIn ads consultancy. More flexibility, better work-life balance, and plenty of time to sip cocktails on a beach. Just kidding, I live nowhere near a beach, but it's still way better. We come from different sides of the marketing world. Me from agency, Tas from in-house, but we both got out.
And now we're pulling back the curtain on what it's really like to go solo. The smooth parts, the scary parts, and the stuff that no one puts in the LinkedIn posts and only in the group chat.
If you're thinking about freelancing, building a side hustle, or just curious what life looks like on the other side, this is your front row seat.
Welcome to The Marketer's Exit.
Yeah, marketers in black.
Marketers in black.
Matching today.
You were wearing an obnoxious shirt and then you went and took it off for some reason. Are you feeling down right now, or what's happening?
No, I wasn't feeling it. You know, I'm just going to be completely honest here. I didn't like the shirt. Didn't like how it was looking. Changed. Threw that shirt in the donation pile. I just did it. Yeah.
No,
straight up.
Did?
Yeah. I was like, because I did that before. So I was like, I'm done with it. I'm over it.
Wait. And now I feel like I have to say goodbye to the shirt. What's the shirt? I've seen it before.
It's already gone. Goodwill already picked it up. Don't worry.
Oh, they
fast
do
track over here. Fast track over here. We got robots picking stuff up now.
Okay. Speaking of fast track, actually, this has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, zero. So terrible. But it's all right.
Terrible segue, but it's fine. Wait, it's improv. Okay. So if I told you that I got offered a full-time gig right now, a Series B company, or even like a cool company, cool, big company, and I got a VP position. I don't like Anthropic. Is Anthropic cool, or are we over it?
I mean, all right. Keep going. Okay.
Let's just be more realistic. Okay. Okay. So we'll say a VP of marketing position. It's paying a little bit more than what my business is paying right now. And then I'm like, okay, Tim, I'm going back in-house. What would you say to me?
You know what's funny? What I would say is, congrats, awesome, let's go. Back in my mind, and I'm not saying this is a good thought, but it's just the truth. I would think that you failed your business. If I didn't know what if I didn't know the backgrounds of your business and understand like the actual numbers and stuff, because I didn't listen to this podcast, I would say that your business failed. Okay. In my mind.
Yeah. That's the stigma that we're facing now. And today it's a good lead into our topic, which is
the reverse exit.
The reverse exit. Please describe for the people what reverse exit is.
The reverse exit. So you went out on your own. It was working well, or it wasn't, because there's both sides of it. And you decided to go back inside the old corporate world. The reverse exit.
The
exit,
reverse. Exit. Yeah. Exit, reverse. Now, most people are afraid of this, right? Because it is an ego thing. It's like, I went out, I tried this on my own. Okay, an opportunity came up. Maybe I'm also floundering and failing. We don't know. We don't know the back end of most people's businesses, right? Everyone postures on LinkedIn. I'm doing so great, 0 to 600K, blah, 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 right? We hear it all the fucking time. So, but the first thought is natural. It's like this person fudged up, or something's not working or clicking, and they're going back in-house. Yeah. But that's not always the case.
Not even close.
No. So there are a couple of people who do this and have done this repeatedly. And if they do it, in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're just at it again. But for the most part, you're like, I wonder what happened here. From the posts that I've seen where people are like, I was fractional and now I'm back in-house. It's kind of like they start off at a client, goes really well for a client, and then a client kind of makes them go in-house full-time. I've seen this tons of times with fractionals. Yeah. I've never in my head thought, oh, their business must be failing. It must be like, oh, it's like a Costco sampler. They got a taste of the work. They're like, just come work for us full-time. We want you on board the whole time. And it obviously comes with some other benefits, right? Like the company knows what it's like to work with you. You get a more stable one client that you have to worry about, that kind of stuff. So it's not always a bad thought in my head, but for you it is.
I say it as like a person that also knows both sides of it. Yeah. Because I do know and have had conversations with people where business has failed and they decided to go in-house. And failure could be whatever you decide that means, but it just wasn't making enough money to make sense. Yeah. I've also talked to many people that were making tons of money, just like it was working really, really well, but they decided to go back in-house because they wanted to, or they didn't like the whole client management thing, or they didn't, or, sometimes the in-house company actually makes them a ridiculous offer. That is amazing. But there's also like the upside part. Like sometimes you do get stake in the company. I say the failure thing jokingly because I don't personally think that, but I think that is the stigma. And to be honest, like if I did that, I would, if I looked at people that just looked at me, that I would say that they're looking at me as the business failed.
So I think it's more of like a personal
100%
reflection and what you think of yourself versus what other people actually think of you, right?
Yeah.
Like you are more worried from the fear and the ego standpoint of what other people think as chronic people pleasers that we are,
yes,
than anything else. So that's why we wanted to cover this today, because one, that happens. And it happens like not super frequently, but it's not uncommon for it to happen. So we want to talk about that because we made an entire podcast about going out on your own, but that doesn't mean that we are anti going back in-house or taking a full-time job. So we obviously want to get tactical, not just, theoretical here. And there are some signals and there are some circumstances within which I would consider going back in-house. So we can talk about that. We can also talk about some other considerations people we know who have done it. And then you have some repeat offenders, people like Elena Verna, who, like it's like The Office. Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. She goes in-house, interim, comes out. She's on her own consulting, goes back in, out, in, out. And you're like, oh, that Elena, she's just doing her thing, her silly little thing, right? But we wanted to talk about this angle because most solos are always boasting on LinkedIn about how well they're doing and how they're building this company and yada, yada, yada. And we've already busted the myth that like you still work a lot if you're working on your own. You actually never stop because it's your own thing. And it's okay. It's okay if it doesn't work out. It's okay. And I think that's the important thing, is to understand that you still have options. Going back in-house, you still have an option to do that. No one's going to think poorly of you. And here are some signals and potential timelines. It's different for everybody, but maybe some vague guidelines on like what you should look for before you consider going to an in-house job. There's
also many cases where you do both, where you go in-house, and yes, maybe you have to scale back your business a little bit, but there's a number of people that I know went back in-house, did the full-time thing, but they also kept like 1 or 2 clients. So they still made it a little extra on the side. Again, it depends on like what the in-house company
allows.
Yeah. And if it's going to affect your business, your everything.
I mean, in some of the early episodes, we talked about leverage a lot. And one of the points of leverage is if you have a company that's a client and then they're like, hey, we love working with you, come in-house. They already know the situation, that you have other clients, that you have this business. They know that your business may or may not be successful, whatever, right? They have an idea like you're doing okay. You're doing okay on your own. It's not in your plan, but we're going to come and propose this to you. You at that point have leverage to then negotiate and say, yes, I will come in. You will be my primary. I will be full-time, but I would like to keep these 2 clients and make further arrangements on how and when you would divide your time and make that part of the agreement. Now, if you're going in cold and you're like applying to jobs and you're like, hey, by the way, I'm also going to take side stuff. A lot of companies would frown at that, but it just depends on what point of leverage you're coming in and just being honest and setting expectations from the start. And hopefully that works. But
I'm going to say something.
Oh, what?
I don't think you have to be completely honest about having side business.
Okay.
I don't think you should.
What if you have an employment contract that dictates that you should? Do not take legal advice on this podcast.
I guess it depends what you're doing. If it's a direct conflict and you're doing something shady, yes, don't. Like if you're stealing customers or something like that, or if you have like that's obviously different. But I don't think it matters. As long as you can keep it kind of quiet and it doesn't affect your work, honestly, do it. And I'll tell you why. Because we've all seen this, like all the layoffs and stuff. Corporate, I get like they have all these rules and there's like the whole 2-week thing, but they can put you on the spot.
Yeah.
You gotta look after yourself.
Yes.
You just do.
Yes. I have talked to many people who have gone out on their own, gone back in-house or considered going back in-house. and who have said that they will never not have clients ever on any job, whether they allow it or not, because it gives you options. So when they decide to pull the plug out of nowhere, you don't have all your income gone at the same time. You still have this backup plan, which is honestly fair and smart now. The other thing is, I remember talking to a lawyer a little while ago when I had my layoff. There was a non-disparagement, all of this stuff. And I was like, well, what's the smart move here? You know, and they were like, listen, you don't have to worry about like whether these are in effect or not. Like things like, you know, they have non-competes in place, things like you can't go to a competitor. They put all of this stuff in your packages when you exit. Like you can go work for anybody except a competitor. The lawyer was like, they would 100% throw that out in court. Like a company can issue you all the paperwork they want, but a court decides what's fair or not. And so even if you've signed the agreement and if they laid you off and an exact competitor came in and offered you money, the court will side with you because they're going to be like, well, you didn't want her.
Yeah.
This company hired her. She has to feed her family. This is like, you don't dictate what she does after you've decided to eliminate the employment.
Wild.
Yeah, it is wild. But these are the things that you can try. So ultimately, my thing is also talk to your lawyers before you sign anything. Get actual advice. And by lawyer, I don't mean ask ChatGPT. I mean like go to an actual lawyer who can help you with the workforce stuff, because I think that's really important now. Okay, why we're talking about this? One, no one talks about it because they are all boasting on LinkedIn. Two, there's a lot of fear because like you mentioned, you're like, I would feel like I failed and people would see me as a failure. We're going to talk about that because that is just not true. I don't see it. I see as you doing the best for you, boo. You know, whatever. Yeah. And then people do talk to us. I got a cold call from one of our friends.
On the phone?
Yes. Ended up talking to this friend for an hour as they were deciding whether they should give up their successful business for this offer that a company had made them. Great name, rocket ship, yada, yada, yada. It was a big point of contention. And then we went down kind of the signals and the reasons why and whether they would be happy at this company, and ultimately decided that it's not worth giving up the business. And I thought that was a good conversation because now we can kind of do this diagnostic on this call and kind of talk through some of those signals. Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Let's go through it.
Okay. All right.
You like a slide deck or something?
No.
No deck?
Yeah. Slide deck. Cool. Okay. The first one and the most important is when the math isn't mathing anymore. Okay.
Oh, right.
So your business is maybe doing 150K, which is decent, but you're managing 5 clients, you're buried, whatever, you don't like it, whatever it is. Maybe you like it, right? But someone comes to you and gives you a 250K offer. Everyone has a number and you're like, man, 250K with benefits, one thing to manage. I get to lead a team, whatever that is, right? The opportunity cost there in terms of what the financial benefit is. That's going to be the first one.
Can we talk through the math for that though?
Yeah, let's
talk through that math though, because it's not like apples to apples, right?
No.
150K. Yeah. And obviously this is going to be wildly different wherever state you're living in, your expenses, all that stuff.
Yes.
150K solo business. Let's assume just take off the top 40%. Just an average number. I mean, yeah. For like taxes and all that.
Okay.
Right. So like, what is that? You know, whatever.
Maybe we should change the math to 100K and 200K. So it's easy math. So you take 40 off. Right.
So 100K. So 40 off. You're at 60K. Take home.
Okay.
And then you said 200.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, they take about like with everything, right? Because you got insurance too. So like that obviously factors in the whole thing. 401k, which is a good thing, obviously, but it's going to take out of your paycheck. If they have a match, that's nice too. It's a little benefit, but let's just say, 50% off of that just because at the very least.
Okay.
That's 100K take home. Okay. That math there makes perfect sense, right? Like it's 60K versus 100K take home. Obviously you get the insurance, the 401k match, assuming. So that math makes like a lot more sense. But but a lot of times what happens is like you get a 200K offer, but you also make 200K in your business.
Yeah.
So those are more close. Those are closer to it. Those are closer kind of math. So then it's more weighing is insurance very important to you? What's your spouse?
Yes.
Do they have insurance or not? Like, are you still paying for it? Obviously, where you live, can you do some better accounting? That's up too.
Yeah.
Also 401k match, does that matter? And then time. Like, are you making 200K on the business, but also just working 50 hours, 60 hours a week, which you're probably going to do full time anyway. But then you also have time off and all that stuff too, that adds into it.
That they have to give you. Yeah.
Unlimited PTO,
I will say this, which maybe we should talk about. Do you not do a 401k right now for your business? As a solo?
I do, but I'm talking about the match.
Yes.
It's one
the
thing
match,
when you leave a company that has a 401k match, literally free money. Max that out if you're in house.
Max that out. I know.
Max that out. You don't realize it until you don't have that free money
exactly.
anymore.
Right now, I do a solo 401k, so I contribute from my paycheck, but then I can also, from the company side, also match and do it. So, but it's me. I'm paying both sides of it.
You're still paying for it. There's tax stuff, but you're still paying for it. You're not getting literally free money.
Yes, exactly. It sucks. It's all my money. Okay. So obviously Signal One does the math, whatever that looks like for you. You could have a 500k business, but like maybe you're burnt out. So that we're going to go into Signal 2, which is now the energy, right? How much are you working? Are you burned out? Right. So there could be a few ways. I think Erica and Nick Bennett cover this on their podcast. They talk about like 3 types of burnout or something. Because there's the one that's like you're overworked. And so like you are working the 60, 80 hours on the business. You're responsible for other people. It's a lot of stress all the time. The business is making a lot of money. You may not be taking home a lot of money. When we talked to the other Tim and he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm getting paid less now than I was in-house, but I like the thrill and the chase of owning my own thing. So sometimes the math could be, hey, you get 250k easy money. That's somebody else's money that they're just paying you. Consistent. As well. You don't have to worry about it. There was some statistic that like a lot of solos will go like 68% of solos will have like a whole month with no income because people don't pay invoices.
Not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, it's not. And then the other one is like, maybe you're doing it, but you're bored. You're like, okay, I did the business thing. I need more of a challenge. I've heard this from people. I miss having a team. I miss having people. Thoughts. I literally met like a person who was fractional. She's in Columbus. I met her and she went in-house because she was like, it was fine, but I just like, I felt like I needed to see people again. Like my kids are older now. I'm bored. I don't want to sit in the house anymore. Yeah. She's like, I just want to like clients. Okay, fine. I was just tired of being alone.
It's lonely.
Yeah. So if you don't make like a little community for yourself, it can get lonely. You're just like sitting in this bubble. And so she went back and you have to think like not everybody's like writing on LinkedIn, like us two yahoos, right?
True.
Some people are like, they've just built a client base from networks, referrals. And then who else are they hanging out with? Just their family and no one else. They're not on LinkedIn jibber jabbering with everybody like we are. So
yeah. And in a similar vein, and I've run into this many times, like when things go well, yeah, you can celebrate yourself. But when things go wrong, you have to figure it out yourself too. So like there is this comfort in on one side celebrating with a team that when you're in house. So that's awesome. There's also a comfort in when things are failing, you have a team to work together on and kind of brainstorm. But also at the end of the day, you're not technically at complete fault because it's at the end of the day, it's more the CEO or your boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you go in house to be the CEO, then.
I mean, even the backup of the work, like I saw so many reels on Instagram of like, oh, I thought, me as a POV, me as a business owner, enjoying my freedom and autonomy. And he's like on the beach on the phone and on the computer. I got so many
stories about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, you're just, you have to answer clients and you have to do all of these things and whatever. I mean, I don't, but like most people do.
I travel a lot and I have to work every single time. I just have to.
Yes, I know. You're sitting in those little boots. I know.
Sometimes it's cool. Like you get the view, you get the laptop and all that, but it's not as fun as the Instagram reels make it sound because it's like annoying because I have to like, oh, wait, watch my son because he's with us and try to do my work at the same time.
Yes.
Oh, we want to do this excursion, but can't really do it because I have to do this. I have to bring my laptop everywhere. It's kind of annoying, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the Wi-Fi good? I don't know.
But my in-house jobs were kind of like that.
True.
I remember I was on leave that I took because I was helping my mother-in-law who had surgery, and I was driving between Columbus and Cleveland, which is 2 hours away, to her house, then another hour to the hospital, back, whatever. The entire time my boss is texting me like, when can you chat? Hey, this is urgent. Can you chat now? I'm like, what is so freaking urgent other than a surgery that my mother-in-law is getting? And then finally, when I got on the phone with my boss at 7, the first things out of her mouth was, we need to talk about your availability. As the most available person in the company, any other time, I took time for myself, not even to enjoy myself. And she was like, not happy that I wasn't available. And so, double-edged sword here, two sides, same coin.
Well,
Same
I'm assuming if someone left their business to go in-house, they picked a better team dynamic than Taz did. They didn't have an exit before that. So,
but sometimes you never know. You never know.
But that's why you keep the side clients so you can be like, oh,
yes. Okay. So sometimes you might be making more money with the business, but you just want to chill, or you think you're going to chill. You take, the stuff that has a little more stability, that kind of stuff, whatever.
Stability is huge. I don't want to miss on that. Like that can be very huge for people. There's some months that is brutal, right? Like that's not fun.
And that's why we've always talked about, like, you kind of have to be a little bit good with money, like saving your little, nuts for the winter time, because you're going to be chasing people for invoices. Like right now I'm chasing, it's so funny because I usually do prepay, and the one time I made one time I made an exception, one time. And they're the only ones who like have fully ghosted. Like not even like, they just fully ghosted. And so, so now it's become, this thing where, okay, well, I still have to pay my writers, and they have,
it just kind of hit me. So no, they're not responding at all.
They're not responding at all. Like not even to the work. We sent like a latest revision. What?
Were they fired?
There's like the whole marketing team's on the thread.
I know. Did the marketing team get fired?
Oh, maybe.
You haven't checked the LinkedIn?
No, not the whole marketing team. Oh my God.
No. I've had something similar happen to me where I knew it because they were deactivated on Slack, but the marketing team got let go, and I would have just been kind of emailing into the ether. Well,
so the invoices are going to them, and it's not just, so like AP could be checking with somebody.
So they got fired.
I doubt they got just agents everywhere. But then the agent would respond to me. Okay. Just letting everybody know. A freaking agent, unless they prompted, said, do not
respond to vendors.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Come on.
Okay. So Signal 3, which actually one of our friends, she talks about this a lot. Our little Kaylee. Hi, Kaylee. Who's that? Who? So the work that you actually want needs the scale. So when Kaylee started, it was just her. Then she's like, shit, I needed to get more people like me in order to take on more clients because I'm turning them away. But it's not just a specialized skill set. She has to find people who are very good, basically clones of Kaylee. How many Kayleys out there? Which she did find a couple of really good people, but she doesn't want to overload each person. So each person has 2 clients, and Kaylee has 2 clients herself. Now, if she wants 8 clients, she has to go higher again. So now she's sitting here going, okay, I could increase the existing retainers by a little bit, but then there has to be a ceiling. There's always a ceiling for it, right? Like you charge up until you hit the ceiling where you see most people are starting to say no. And then what? She's going to hit the ceiling where, okay, she's going to keep growing from a shop, as she likes to call it, to full-fledged agency, which she hates when we call her that. So sometimes you need that work, and maybe it comes in like, okay, hey, Kaylee, you've kind of scaled this shop to this much. Do you want to just come over and run Refine Labs? You have the scale, you can implement your model, but you have the resources and people. Right. Maybe that makes sense, right?
Some people like the work. Yeah. There's more than just the money, right? There's the passion. There's I want to do these cool things. And when you're in-house, you get more of that because you have usually bigger internal budgets. So you have a bigger team, you have more clients and customers to do it with. Yeah. So, even personally, when I left in-house, I had a lot less things to talk about that were in my realm because I didn't have as much data and customer talking and clients that I could, speak to.
Yeah.
like a lot of sales calls is where I got a lot of my kind of interesting things from. And we had, like 10 calls a day. Then it went to 10 calls freaking every 6 months for me.
Yeah.
So it's a way different kind of scale there.
Yes. So there are different levers you can pull. And, these are the things that you just kind of have to evaluate. And if it's like, okay, you have passion for the craft, like the HubSpot guys, the marketing against the grain guys, like they have like unlimited access to AI because they have to build this podcast around it. HubSpot's the brain behind it. HubSpot's just chucking money. You think Kieran Flanagan or whatever his name is has token limits? Hell no. He is spending tokens like no one's business, right?
Actually, I think they just put a podcast out that said that they
token maxing versus outcome maxing. Or what?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And I think he mentioned like he was underspending on his tokens for some reason or something like that. But like there's some company like they were talking about the token things. But he was like, yeah, we're not trying to token max, but I'm sure they're spending a lot more on their usage than others.
But it's funny because they release their podcast a couple times a week and every episode is like some new tool that they're demoing. And I'm like, shit, there's a part of me that's like, one, jealous. I'm like, what? I guess they do nothing else except research and work on AI tools and the marketing team just runs on their own. Or then the second part is like, they can just go sign up for whatever and they have the resources to just go at it, versus me. I'm already exhausted after 1 week. I'm like, okay, I can't I just learned about skills like 2 weeks ago. And now suddenly it's like, oh, let's run autonomous agents with Manus. I'm like, so there's a lot of fatigue going on there. Okay. The last signal, and then I'll use a real example of what I told the person on the call who had called me and how we deduced that going in-house was not the right step for them. Okay. So the fourth one is life conditions change. Maybe it's kids, your partner loses their job, you're getting a divorce, a big health issue, you need the insurance, you don't have the tolerance for variable income, now in later stage of your life than you did when you were in your early 20s, whatever that case may be. And you're like, I just can't swing it right now. That's okay. That's like a big part after the financial math where most people are like, we're going to go in. I think we know one person who's going to come on the show, but she had talked about just feeling anxious. And she said, when I went out and I tried to do it myself, I just constantly felt like in a state of panic and I was already going through like a bad phase mentally and I just wasn't in the spot to just take this on. And you kind of do have to be, in a strong-ish mental spot to take this on because 100%. There will be challenges, especially in the beginning.
Oh, and it's always something.
Yeah.
Always something. I think my biggest annoyance in the first 2 years was finance, but once I hired someone that was much better, but you can't just fire someone off the bat. It doesn't work out. The math doesn't work out. It's like, but there's always something. Like I've talked about it a couple of times where there's been like 3 times where I lose like 2 or 3 clients at the same time. It's not fun. Mentally, it hurts. It consumes my mind. Yeah, it's sometimes it'd be nice. Just go in-house.
Yeah, sometimes it would be nice to just suddenly your team's just handed to you and you're like, you get to enter all these events where they were kicking you out as a solo. And now they're like, oh, she's a VP. Welcome back.
There's that too.
Welcome back.
Yeah. I was going to bring up like, there's some serious benefits to in-house, right? Like those quarterly trips where you kind of meet up with the team in Costa Rica or Ibiza or wherever you guys go. And you go to the annual trip where everyone kind of meets up at South Korea. I don't even know where people go, but all these companies are in Korea. Like, Mexico and like, little fun time or going to Austin or whatever.
What are they called? President's Club. You get to like tag along maybe because you're marketing, you kind of helped a little bit.
Send them a couple leads. Yeah.
Send them a couple leads. But suddenly you're back to being respected because you have that bigger budget and everybody wants a piece of it, So they're all like, oh, hey, welcome back.
My gifts have significantly dropped since going in-house or going out on my own. Like the amount of like vendor gifts I would get, I dropped. Google never sends me a gift.
Yeah.
Nor does Claude. I paid for you, by the way. It's like, I'm chump change.
We're the ones that make fast decisions. Like, I went from free to $200 in Claude, like within a day. So like really.
Some extra stuff there.
Yeah. We have the spending power, just saying.
I paid for 3 of them. So
I know.
That's the thing.
Me too.
It's really annoying, actually.
It is really annoying. And I can't give one up because I'm like, who's going to fail at something tomorrow? And then I have to go to this one to do it.
True.
So
they
like,
have their benefits.
I ran a deep research project with chat today, but then I use Claude for something else because I need to do this like other workflow. There's so much going on right now. It's too much. Okay.
So much.
Yeah, so much. Okay. So in the conversation I had with this person, they didn't tell me exactly what they were offering, but they said that it was less than what they were making right now. And I was like, okay, well, that's already kind of an X in that thing. Oh, but it's a rocket ship. They said I could keep some clients. I could go there for a little while. They want most of my time. And then after they sell or go public, then I'll get a good payout and I can come back to my existing company. Okay. That's always a dream. They always sell you on the going public and the acquisitions, right?
Ooh, that's not happening.
Yeah, exactly. Let me tell you a fun story. My last in-house job, when I joined, they said, hey, just FYI, big secret, we're going to actually go public like in 2 months, just so you know. So you're coming in at the right time. Here's some here's some stocks, whatever. Anyway, I was there for almost 3 years and now I've been out of it for 3 years. So it's been 6 years and they are no closer to doing that from what I heard. In fact, I heard that they're on a hiring freeze. So, so that's the other thing is it's kind of like a relationship where it is like, do not marry for potential, marry for who they are right now, because that's who you can expect to get tomorrow, maybe a little while, maybe small iterations, but don't sit there going, this person is going to be it one day. He's a little chubby now. He's going to be fit. I promise. Like whatever that is for you, your criteria, right? Just like marry for who they are right now. So already when they told me that, I was like, okay, that's like a non-issue. Like that is a non-consideration. Yeah, it's a non-consideration.
You don't have control.
Don't even think about that.
Even if you're in marketing, it doesn't matter. Like you're the head of marketing, does not matter. You have way less control than you think.
Yeah. So then I asked this person and I said, tell me, what are your goals? Like, what does your ideal day or week look like? And they said, well, I would like to not work this much. And then they gave me a very specific goal, which I will not say on this because then it would give the person away. But they had a specific goal. And I said, okay. And it involved some activity that they wanted to do outside the house. And I said, okay, which road gives you a higher chance of achieving this activity? Oh, staying in my company for sure, because it would give me more freedom. I could control that outcome. I could make it happen somehow. And I said, could you arrange it with this company where you could do that? Yeah, I could. I'm like, would that company let you do it without just slacking you the entire time? Oh, I don't know about that. I'm like, then the micro signal said, very, very good team that's over there. It's just like, it's a powerhouse. Like it would be great for me to join, blah, blah, blah. They're so considerate. They sent me 27 messages, like kind of just all their, all their thoughts about how it could work and how they want me and stuff. I'm like, wait, they sent you 27 messages on how this could work? Oh yeah, 27. It was like late one night, whatever. I woke up and it was 27 messages. I'm like, okay, listen, let me just tell you what this is really quick. If they are sending you 27 messages now and you haven't even said yes yet, imagine how many messages you're going to wake up to when you work for them full time. It's a little Costco sampler of what you're going to get when you're in-house. So sometimes things look great on the outside culturally because you like the people and whatever. But then you get in, you're like, oh, it's actually a shitstorm. And that's usually 9 times out of 10 what it actually is. You know what I mean? So those are the small signals and red flags I would look for to be like, am I walking into something that's going to actually make me work more? I have to answer to them. I have to tell them when I go to the freaking doctor, when I pick up my child, when I am I going to get pinged randomly at 9 p.m. and I have to respond while I'm watching Love is Blind with my husband? Like, what is going to be the expectation? And are you willing to give that up for money, equity?
Yeah. I mean, but you all do that with the clients too. So it depends on like what your setup is.
Yeah.
Right.
You might have clients that suck.
Yeah, you're going to have that too. Like, then I think the whole thing though is the good thing about leaving or going in-house and is that you could also just leave again.
Yes.
If it doesn't work out, like if those things do happen, you didn't catch in the interview process, you still can go back out.
Yes. And this is where we're going to talk about that ego side of things, like the objections, right? So if you're like, oh, I built this brand, I can't just abandon it. You're not going to abandon it. There are plenty of people, Jason Widup, we talked about before we hit record, him, Elena Verna, they all built a reputation. People know them just by their names. Yes, some of the companies they've helped. But if Elena left Lovable right now, so many people would come and try to scoop her up. Like it would. So you got to still you can keep building. Maybe they don't allow you to have 10,000 clients, but I would still continue to have networking calls, make sure that you keep your options open, always be looking. And I know companies are going to hate that. They're like, I want someone dedicated to me until I get rid of you immediately. But I feel like I would do that so differently now. If I was in-house, which is probably why no one would hire me. If I was in-house, I would still be like writing on LinkedIn. That would be a non-negotiable. I would tell them before I walked in, I'd be like, nope, you have to be okay with me writing on LinkedIn. And I won't share proprietary information, but I'm going to keep posting. That's one. And then, which is funny because some people who do have told me that their companies do have issues with them doing it, even though they agreed on it. So keep building your reputation because that's what you have to fall back on. Everyone will think I failed. Well, half of them already thinking about going out just like you. That's something to note. You also have the spotlight effect where you think people are paying attention to you far more than they are.
Yeah.
Like everyone moves on.
People forget too, like all the time.
Yeah. Hey, did you know, here's a funny statistic. Something like last year, there were only 2,000 fractional mentions or something, like fractional marketer mentions on LinkedIn. And now it's like 10,000 in 1 year. Like, because
that doesn't sound right.
Mainly because of layoffs and all of that stuff. Doesn't sound right. Yeah. There's like billions of people out there. Like,
I guess that's true.
And on LinkedIn, millions and millions. 10,000 is nothing. I actually think that might be low if it doesn't sound right. Okay. And the math people forget, like great in-house role, the network you built solo, everything you learned. And then the 1 year in-house version of you doesn't mean that you're going backwards. You always have the option to go snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Yeah, you can go back and forth if you want.
Yes. So don't burn bridges. Negotiate. Negotiate. Pick the role for the work. Just like anything. Like if you got to pick it because hopefully from a point of leverage and not because you're scared or something like that. And then, give it a good try. Give yourself like, hey, I'm going to try this in-house role for a year. We'll see whether I like it better or not. Like it's
there's that too.
I
can't explain how close I've tried to want to do this. There is a part of me because I've never had the X company juju that a lot of people have.
God, they're the worst. Ex Amazon, ex.
Yeah, blah, blah. I hear you. I get you. I get you. Okay, I understand. I'm not going to put it in my headline if I did this, but there would be something to me working for Anthropic, working for some big company and being like, I worked at Anthropic. I don't need to say for 6 months. But I could say I worked at Anthropic. There is a stigma that comes with working like a big company that people know and adore or door to door, or you can use that in your marketing for a new, like when you go back out on your own again. So there is something to that, and you could learn a lot of stuff from that as well. Like if you worked in an AI company, you'd probably learn so much about that stuff. That would be crazy.
Yes, but
like there is a part of me that has thought about that because I don't have that kind of company I can mention that it's like everyone will know. Not just B2B people, because you say Salesforce is B2C people, not everyone knows it.
Yeah.
But if you say, OpenAI or, Claude or you say ChatGPT, like one of those companies would be interesting to tell people about that. Like I worked at it, or a big tech company, like I worked at Amazon or whatever it is. Like I ran LinkedIn ads for Amazon, like boom.
You could do it like that guy we're going to cover Notorious B2B this week. That was like it says past employer, OpenAI, it said applied but didn't get in though. So
Yeah, I mean, you can make stuff up.
you
for
can
sure.
make shit up, you know.
That's
I mean, he
true.
didn't make shit up. He probably did apply and just didn't get it. But he's just saying that he tried. So, you know?
I mean, I thought about this would be kind of funny is like on my homepage, you know, where you put the social proof.
Yeah.
I thought about instead of like saying trusted by, saying like we use, and then it'd be like OpenAI, like Claude, or you know, Google and Riverside, like any tool that we use, it would just be on there. It's like a joke.
Oh my God, that would be so funny.
Because people because someone goes to a website, they see the logos, they
Yes.
just assume
That's who you work
that's
with.
the social proof,
You know what? Some
and it wouldn't
companies
be lying because it'd be used by.
Some companies
reused.
do put like, instead of their customer logos, they'll say integrates with, but they put that
Yeah,
higher than
yeah.
their customers. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, integrates with, and you're like, oh, Google, blah, blah, blah. You see all these things. You're like, oh shit. Okay. Because you're not reading and they know you're not reading.
Right.
Oh, fuck.
Now I would mix it up, right? Because I'm smart here. Like I would do, because like if I just put OpenAI, Gemini, like Google, you know, whatever else, big tool, I would mix it up. I'd be like, oh, I also use this smaller company. So here's Riverside. Not saying you're small, Riverside, but you are. You know, here's Riverside, Google, Microsoft, like all the tools that I use, Wave. You know, just saying Apple,
Wow.
because I have an iPhone.
Wow. Okay.
Or
All
what
right.
else do I got here? I'm trying to think of some other
stop
tools.
it.
What apps do I have?
Stop it.
You know, I'm just, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. LinkedIn. Put LinkedIn on
CapCut.
there.
So
CapCut.
TikTok, chess.com,
Wow.
Instagram,
All
Meta.
right. Okay.
Slack.
Okay,
So
so-
Salesforce,
So
HubSpot.
stop it.
Okay, moving on. That covers our segment on the reverse exit. We have a new segment we want to try out, which is
What's new?
what's new. So you have anything? You said you had a topic you wanted to try and bring up here.
Yeah.
What's new?
So with this segment, we want to cover things that are actually things that we're working on, dropping new things,
Interesting tidbits.
interesting things, maybe wins, losses, annoyances, whatever's going on behind
Get
the
into
scenes
it.
with
Get
our
into
business.
it.
Okay.
Get into it.
So this week I had an interesting change really quick. I literally changed my website today. And the reason is over this last year, and I think I brought it up in some of the other episodes, which was I was getting a lot of people asking about me writing for the main website. Tas, do you write for the main website? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. You know, whatever. Who's going to say no to more money? And I remember Rob and Anthony were both like at Spring, they were like, don't do it, Tas. Don't do it. You got a good thing going on right now. I'm like, yeah, but you know, I used to do this in-house. Anyway, so they said, that's fine. Run a few beta projects and see how it goes. I'm running a few beta projects. They are going terribly. So not terrible in the sense that they're like, any of the outputs are bad. It's just all the things that I look at from an efficiency standpoint with the landing pages. I have like a very strict system. We go through it. Clients are happy, yada, yada. Way more stakeholders with the main website. Lot more like positioning problems, which I don't solve for. There's a lot of pivoting that happens. So they come to me and they're like, I want to redo this page. And then I just become this like order taker and we're trying to pivot and then things aren't moving as fast. We're on far more meetings trying to like talk about the pivots. So when I'm looking at how much the engagement costs divided by the time that already my writers and I are putting into this, it's starting to like, you know, the margins on the project are not looking good. And so even my writers are complaining about them and saying this is just not going well. They're not happy. It's all around not working. So today I changed one of the offers on my website. Initially it was landing page audit, paid landing pages, which is my core sprint. And then the last one was core web pages. So the main pages on your website. Now I've changed it. And the third one is going to be basically a full like campaign end-to-end sprint that does all these evergreen campaigns that I do for landing pages that I do for companies. We'll actually do the ad platform cleanup, set up all these, give you the ads, landing pages, design, development, everything. Literally we come in, we plug, and our whole team's out for that. So they can manage it on their own. They can have someone manage it after, but we do the entire setup and cleanup for their campaign.
You're creating the ads or just the prompt?
No, we're creating the ads. We'll create everything. So I'm going to show you. I'll pull it up. Tim's got his thinking hat on. Okay. So we're going to pull it up.
So left field.
This is left field. I feel like the core website is left field. Okay. So I'm sharing my website here while Tim obnoxiously drinks from his cup.
Yep.
So my pricing is here. So first we have just an audit. Cool. I just audit one landing page. Then I have the core set of landing pages. And this is the one that people buy the most, whatever. And then I have an end-to-end campaign sprint. And this is for teams who want to create those always on campaigns, start to finish, but they want everything. Because what I find is I get these people, I'll have a discovery call with them and they'll say, hey, do you have someone to help with the design? Do you have someone who will actually do the ads? Do you have someone that will actually create them in Webflow or WordPress or whatever for us? So what I did was I went to each of my partners that I refer for that. And I said, hey, if I wanted to do this like productized sprint, start to finish, my landing pages are the hub. You're going to create the ads for it. You will do the campaign setup for it, blah, blah, blah. Everyone gave me their price. And I'm just like, okay, we'll try an end-to-end campaign sprint and see if someone will bite on. Basically, we come in, we set everything up and we head out. If they want to manage it themselves, they can. Or if they want the paid partner to manage it ongoing, they can. But they have literally all the assets ready to go and they'll be up and running for like one-time investment, forever dividends, 6 to 8 weeks.
Starting at 40,000, big time. All right. So TLDR, you started a new kind of product line.
I expanded on my existing package. Instead of offering core website, which is, I feel like a different offer altogether, I just expanded on the paid landing pages based on all the calls and what they're asking me for to just let's do an expanded package of this. No, I literally just changed the website today. So
all right.
I will see. But this one, our process for the landing pages does not change. I just get like more people involved and then, like maybe get a little bit more out of it. Though? No, I'm going to have them all manage their own pieces. So we'll have like, just like how we do now, when a client asks for that, I just hand them off at this point. So once our landing pages, like once I do the wireframes and they're done, I'm going to be like, okay, here's my partner. She's going to take care of you with design and development. And then here's the other partner. And they all work autonomously right now, like with the clients on their own. Why would I do any of that? So
you're just a middle manager.
Pretty much just to delegate. Like nice. I bring the deals and
Delegation station. Nice.
Yeah. I bring the deals and I get a cut.
Nice.
For bringing the deals with my affiliate. Inbound engine.
You're just an affiliate marketer.
I would live off of commissions if I could. If I could get more partners like my paid partner, it'd be amazing. Because I get a decent, the last 3 years, I've made like over $30,000 just referring people.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Very nice. Mine's not as cool. It's just a little tidbit.
What's a tidbit?
Just an FYI, I guess.
Okay.
So bought a house recently.
Yeah.
One thing to note about that is if you go on your own, you can, it's going to be hard to get a bank to give you a loan for a home if you don't have 2 years of the business income tax returns. Right? So I basically had to wait until my tax return was done this year because it'd be 2 years of full-time business income from the tax return. So I could show that to them to apply for the loan, essentially. So I had to wait 2 years. Like last year we were thinking about it and we just couldn't. It was just not an option because my wife's a teacher and teachers don't make as much as you'd think. You'd assume, hope. And so I essentially just had to wait until I was 2 years in. So if you're going on your own and you're like, oh, we're going to buy a house this year too. No, you're not. Unless you have cash and then good for you. Then have at it.
Yeah. Unless you have cash. Cash is king.
Cash is king. Well,
cash rules everything
around
don't
me.
Even
take cash. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sometimes it's like, is this dirty money? What's happening?
Yeah. It's really hard to give people a lot of cash for a home without getting a couple flags, just FYI.
Sure.
Don't fall under your bed. Don't do that.
But your market is similar to our market where it's like the offers, they're like going crazy and people, we put in offers on 3 houses and we lost 2 of them, 1 to full cash offer. I'm like, well, why are people just sitting on this much amount of money? Like just waiting. They have investors. And like, I remember looking up the people who got the house that I really wanted. And like, they were both teachers, not to dog on teachers, but I was like, there was no way they had that much in cash, but it was like, they probably lived in California, moved. Like there's so many different ways you could just like sell things over there. You have cash in hand. You come over here. You can buy like 3 houses in Ohio for 1 in California. Okay, well that's an interesting tidbit to know.
Just why
Yeah. But when are you moving into your new house?
We get access to it May 13th.
Okay. Very cool. You better record still. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm going to have a new office shortly. And then still setting up the studio. If you can't see, I'm taking stuff down and my walls are brutal right now.
Oh, you're going to have to patch all of that up. Are you
kidding
me?
Well, yeah, obviously got to patch it up.
I know, but that's not worst nightmare is to just have peeled off.
Yeah, but it's easy. Just
sand it down.
It down, put a little stuff on it, and then you paint it.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Not my first job for my first rodeo here.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I have ChatGPT.
They are running ads for like, oh, you want to start a business? And you just have the ChatGPT prompt rolling in the background. I'm like, what is going on? Okay. So for a final sign off before we go, I want to do a new segment too. And we're going to call it Free Plug.
Okay.
Free plug, baby. Notorious B2B, no free plugs. Marketers Exit, free plugs. Only one. Okay. So every week we want to shout out a marketer who took the jump, went out, seemingly doing well. We don't know, but you never know. But you know what? At least the trying is commendable. So we're going to start this week with Eric Holland.
Who's that?
He's one of my favorite people. One of my favorite people. So Eric, he's a product marketer based in Carlisle, PA. He goes by Eric Holland and has the skull. You may know him as one of the guys who runs.
Just do quotations around that.
But the skull?
Why quotes? It's on there. It's not fake. It's his profile.
Sorry, Eric. Okay. So it says the skull is his brand. Anyway, it's part of the We're Not Marketers podcast he does with Zach and Gab. Okay. So here's his track record. He has a customer success background, parlayed into product marketing. He was like sales enablement, LucidLink, senior product marketer, procurement, product marketing consultant at Clue, all of that. And then finally pulled the trigger and went solo. Not a layoff. He did a voluntary exit. This is very important. Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
I wish. Just like
How's
you.
That even happen?
He loved product marketing so much he quit so he could help more than one company at a time. Wow. Okay. That was written.
That's so nice.
That's like what he could write in his Oscar speech. Okay. So one thing that he did do was he built a lot of brand and audience before leaving, co-founded the We're Not Marketers podcast in 2003, started as a vent session on LinkedIn, but now has about 100 unique listeners per episode. Very cute. Runs a portfolio, 2 main ventures on Mojo PMM, which is this custom AI messaging assistant. And so it consolidates, it's like a project, custom GPT consolidates all your messaging docs, and then it can like pump out all your marketing assets. And then he also has Demo Dash, which is interactive nomadic demos as a service that he co-founded with another partner. So he does that as well. And he also has an apparel side venture. I did not know this, called Touch Prints, which is funny because he actually told me that he would print our Notorious B2B swag. He has the hookup. And so that's maybe what the hookup was. So maybe we'll tap into him for printing out TME swag too. Mojo PMM launched in September 2025, covered by the product marketing newsletter. He invested in real design instead of DIYing it. So I know he did a big brand launch with that. He had like a whole Notion doc with everyone a brand. It was actually a very good playbook. And then he was named on PMA's top product marketing consultants of 2025. So yeah, he has, the whole gamut. He also does a lot of trolling on LinkedIn, which I love. And they are hosting their first event this fall called Marketing is Dead or something like that. Oh, Death to Marketers. I think that's what it is.
Damn. I'm not going to that. That's hard.
It's in Michigan. So I would go if I can finagle it between some personal events I'm traveling for. So shout out Eric Holland. Go follow him on LinkedIn. Tell him that we sent you. So
good for our Eric. What a plug.
What a plug. Dang.
Lastly, though, there's one last thing here.
Oh, okay.
If you like the pod or don't, please leave a review. We'd love to get your feedback. I would love if you shared it as well. And if you haven't been to the marketerexit.com website, themarketersexit.com, you can ask a question. We've been kind of slacking on answering the questions, but we are answering them. And then we're going to have some episodes on those, some clips. They'll give you all the answers there. But yeah, would love to get your feedback as well. DM us if you have questions too. I can give you some real numbers that Taz did not want to share because she doesn't like sharing.
No, anything. I shared it in the last episode. I literally called out my numbers. So sharing, we're going full open here.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right.
Retention rate.
All right. Bye-bye. Going solo isn't always easy. There are client wins, red flags, and moments where you feel on top of the world and moments where you question everything. But for us, It's been worth it.
We're not selling you a dream. We're sharing real stories, real numbers, and the mindset shifts it takes to build your own thing, whatever that looks like for you. Subscribe to The Marketer's Exit and send it to a friend who's this close to making a move.